Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to continue to talk about imposter syndrome, that feeling that you have deep inside where you may feel like you're a fraud. Imposter syndrome usually creeps up whenever we experience something that's big or momentous. We might get a promotion, we might land the job, we might achieve something or succeed at something. And it's during those times when everyone else is looking at us and congratulating us for the achievement that sometimes we look deep inside of ourselves and we don't like what we see there and we think that we're a fraud. As we said before, this can have serious consequences for the way that we live our lives. We can upper limit ourselves where we don't feel like we deserve whatever we receive, and so we push ourselves down back to the level where we feel most comfortable because we feel like frauds. It can erode our self-confidence so that we can't make decisions and we can't lead our teams well. A lot of times it leads to despondency, where we know that what's inside of us doesn't match what's going on, and we have this feeling of fraud, and so therefore we have anxiety and sometimes even depression. Now, we've done two previous videos on imposter syndrome. The first video was about what you should do when you don't think that you have what it takes. The second video was what to do when you don't think that anyone else thinks that you have what it takes. And I'll put the link for those two videos in the description below, and I hope that you'll check those out if you haven't already. This video is for those of us who feel like frauds because there really is something inside of us that fractured our integrity. There really is something that happened where what we projected or what we actually didn't match what was really true for us on the inside. In other words, we did something that we're not proud of in order to gain something that we really didn't earn. Now, friends, we've all been there to some degree or another. We took some questionable shortcut in order to succeed, or we broke an agreement or a promise that we made with somebody that's important to us. And to our detriment, we hold on to secrets that we have never revealed. You know, there's ancient wisdom that says the righteous are as bold as a lion, which is just another way of saying that when you do things and remain true to yourself, and you do them in such a way that you're not misrepresenting yourself to the world, then you have this free-flowing joy, this space, this creativity that allows you to move through the world with boldness, because you know that there's nothing out there that's going to come back to bite you. There is no feeling of fraud because you were true to yourself. The righteous are as bold as a lion. So friends, if you have this feeling of fraud because you know that you've done something that's disingenuous, let me just say that there are some things that you can do to restore that breach of integrity. But I do want to say that it's going to take a lot of courage on your part. It's going to take courage for you to face some things that maybe you've been unwilling to face in your past. It's going to take the courage to get alone and to do some real soul searching. And maybe you do this with a coach or a therapist, someone to help guide you through the process, but it's still going to be a very courageous decision of yours to actually deal with what it is that's causing you to feel like you're a fraud. And I want to emphasize that you're not alone in this. All of us have been there. All of us have done things that violate our integrity, some in small ways that accumulate inside of ourselves over time, others in big, egregious ways that cause big fractures in our integrity. So if you can find the courage and you're willing to continue, let's talk about some ways that you can restore your integrity. The first thing to do is to know what you expect of yourself, and then try to match your actions to those expectations. Now, a lot of people, when they look deep inside, they really don't have a list of things that they know that they expect of themselves. Ways that you know that you want to relate to other people. What kind of honesty and transparency? Will you keep your promises? Will you keep your agreements? What kind of agreements will you make with people? What does loyalty look like for you? In other words, what expectations do you have for yourself when it comes to relating to other people? Now, I'm not talking about a list of your goals and ambitions. And we're not talking about the expectations that other people might have for you. This is a list of the things that you know deep inside of yourself that you must live by if your integrity is going to remain intact. I suggest that you get alone and grab a piece of paper and start to list the things that you commit to live by, the things that you know are so important to you that you just cannot violate them, where violating them would be a breach of your integrity. So, what do you value? When you know what you value and you can match your integrity to those values, there is no feeling of fraud. Everything is real. Everything is honest. Everything is aligned with who you really are. Let me give you an example. One of the things that I value for myself is I want to be continually learning and growing. I never want to put out there that I've arrived, that I've succeeded, that I am the expert, that I have all the experience. The value that I have for myself is that it's a journey. And as long as I'm on that journey of learning and discovering and growing into my potential, then I'm real. And as long as I'm learning and growing, then I don't have to fake it. I don't feel like a fraud. And I don't have to project to other people that I know everything that there is to know, or that I'm an expert at something, or that I'm a guru, or that I have all the experience in the world, and therefore I should have the position. When my integrity requires that I am learning and growing, and when I put that out to the people who are around me, I no longer have to fake it because everything about me is real. Imposter syndrome just disappears. So, what do you value? What are the expectations that you have for yourself? Most people that I talk to don't know what those are. They know what everyone else expects of them. They know what society expects of them. They know what their jobs expect of them. But they've never really done the work of knowing what they expect for themselves. When you know what you expect of yourself and you live up to those expectations, there's no reason to feel like a fraud. The second way that you can restore your integrity and no longer feel like a fraud and have to fight with imposter syndrome is to clean up your broken agreements. Take a few minutes and think about all the agreements and all the promises that you've made to yourself. Maybe you promised yourself that you would lose weight, or that you would get in shape, or that you would finish your education, or that you will stop watching so much TV, whatever it is. What are some promises and agreements that you've made with yourself? How about the promises and agreements that you've made with the people that are important to you? Your spouse or significant other, your children, your friend group. And then maybe move out and talk and think about the agreements that you've made with your boss, the agreement that you made with the company that you got hired at when you told them that you had experience or that you had the education. And if you can think of any agreements that you've made with yourself or with other people that you've broken, commit to cleaning up those agreements. When you clean up any broken agreements, you'll find that it will restore the flow and energy and feeling of integrity that you have inside of you. You'll no longer feel like a fraud. Imposter syndrome will just fly away. So how do you clean up an agreement? When you know that you've broken an agreement with yourself or with somebody else, how do you clean that up? It's pretty simple, really, but hard to do. The first thing you have to do is take responsibility for having broken the agreement. And the second thing you got to do is you've got to go to the person that you broke the agreement with and let them know that you broke the agreement. And take 100% responsibility by saying, hey, I didn't do that when I said I would. Or, hey, I did that when I said I never would do that. And I'm responsible for that. So take 100% responsibility for having broken the agreement. And then go directly to the person that you broke the agreement with and let them know that you broke the agreement. Don't make any excuses. Don't give them reasons. Those are not important. Finally, ask the person what you can do to clean up the agreement. Friends, when you do this, when you clean up your broken agreements, you will restore the flow and the energy and the integrity that's inside of you. The third thing that you can do to restore the integrity that's inside of you is to hold no secrets. Holding secrets can accumulate inside of us and require huge amounts of energy, emotional energy, to push them down and to ignore them and to pretend that they aren't there. And many of us turn to other things to help us ignore the secrets that we hold. Things like overeating, staying busy and being a workaholic, drugs and alcohol, all kinds of things that we turn to help us ignore what's really true on the inside. And your feeling of fraud may be directly correlated to the secrets that you hold inside. Now, friends, the way to hold no secrets is to reveal rather than conceal. And here's how you do that. Go directly to the person who needs to hear it and tell them what's going on. Everything that's important in life can be expressed in one or two outbreaths. So when you're telling this person what's really going on inside, when you're revealing this secret that you have, you don't need to take 30 minutes to explain all the circumstances surrounding it. Just say it. Take responsibility for it and own it. Now, you want to give them time to express their own feelings, their own emotions, and let them say what they want to say. And then after that, just let them know how you're going to behave from now on. Secrets only have power over you as long as they remain secrets. So reveal rather than conceal. When you reveal your secrets, you'll open up inside of you an avenue to your own integrity, to your own essence, to who you really are. And you'll see that flow and space will happen, and you'll no longer feel like a fraud. So the 3 paths to restoration are to know what you expect of yourself and match your actions to it. Clean up any broken agreements that you may have, and hold no secrets. Often we feel like frauds for good reason, but the empowering move is to take responsibility for your own actions and for your own integrity. And you can take any of these actions today and feel reconnected to your own integrity, where imposter syndrome and fraud is no longer a thing, and your self-confidence can return in full force. Now, I hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope also that you'll hit that like button and subscribe to Leadership Evolution channel for more content whenever it comes up. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.